Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're getting into a real classic, a standout on any cheese counter.
Absolutely. We're talking about a cheese that once you really know its story, well, it helps you tell a much better story to your customers.
Exactly. Think of this as arming ourselves, fellow mongers, with the knowledge we need to really connect people with something special.
Mm.
And the star today is Murray's one-year Manchego, our mission, to really unpack it, its history, how it's made, what Murray's brings to the table.
Right. So you can confidently explain its value, its whole experience.
Yeah, make that sale feel like a discovery for the customer.
And understanding this cheese, it's really about seeing how tradition and expert selection work together, right?
It's more than just selling cheese. It's like you're handing over a little piece of Spain.
A piece of heritage, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta appreciate every slice.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Where does it start? Place. Castilla-La Mancha, Spain. Big open landscapes.
Don Quixote country.
Exactly. Cervantes immortalized it.
Yeah.
In Queso Manchego, I mean, it is Spain's most famous cheese, no question.
Its name is basically a protected birthright. You can tell customers that it's not just any name.
And this specific one, the Murray's one year, it's not just any Manchego. It's chosen, right? Selected carefully.
That's the key point. It's like an artifact selected by people who really know their stuff, Murray's.
Which brings us to this interesting idea you mentioned.
Yeah, the confluence of two things. You've got Spain's DOP, the Denominación de Origen Protegida, super strict rules, legally enforced.
The authenticity guarantee.
Right. And then you've got the Murray's cheese team, their palate, their selection process.
So tradition meets curation.
Exactly. And that combination, that's what assures the customer they're getting something authentic and high quality. It's a powerful message.
Okay, let's shift gears. History is great, but what about when the customer asks, what does it taste like? Let's talk senses.
Good idea. That 12-month aging period is crucial. It's not just sitting there, it's developing.
Developing. Depth. Complexity.
Both. You get this amazing blend. It's nutty, definitely. Savory, buttery, too.
So when we're describing it, what specific notes should we mention?
Think toasted almonds. That's a big one. Maybe some rich caramel notes underneath. And a long finish, kind of fruity.
Caramel and fruit. Nice. And importantly, it avoids that. Sometimes you get older sheep cheeses that are a bit waxy or gamey.
Yeah, this one steers clear of that. It's robust, for sure, but balanced. You get sharpness, a bit of sweetness, even a peppery kick.
That's the Viejo profile, right? The hallmark of a properly aged Manchego.
Exactly. And the texture changes dramatically, too, over that year.
Okay, texture. It gets firm, hard, good for grating, like parm.
Definitely firm, hard, great for grating. But here's something cool to point out to customers, that slightly granular feel in the paste.
Ah, the crystals.
Yes, those tiny, crunchy bits. That's not a flaw. That's proteolysis in action. Calcium lactate crystals.
It's a sign of maturity, of quality.
Totally. Tell people that. It's often an aha moment for them, understanding why it feels that way.
Love that. And visually, the inside is that pale ivory, maybe yellowish, gets darker near the rind.
Yep, deepens to a nice amber sometimes. And the rind itself, well, it's inedible.
Standard stuff. But it has the pattern.
The plia pattern, that zigzag weave. Originally from the grass baskets, now from molds, but it's legally required.
Another authenticity check for the customer. Visual proof.
Right. And the smell matches the taste nuts, butterscotch, but also clean, maybe a bit grassy from the sheep's milk.
Okay, technical corner for a second. What if customer asks about ingredients? They might see something unusual on the label.
Ah, you mean the lysozyme from egg white?
Yeah, that one. Not exactly Bronze Age cheese-making tech.
No. It's a modern touch, actually. It's a natural antimicrobial. It helps prevent spoilage, specifically something called late blowing, especially during that long aging.
So it's a quality control thing.
Why?
For consistency.
Exactly. A safeguard for large-scale artisanal production. And it explains the eggs allergen warning, which is important for you to know.
Good point. It's tradition meeting modern food science in a way.
Precisely. Ensures the cheese arrives perfectly.
Okay, let's circle back to that DOP status, because that's huge for explaining value, isn't it?
Absolutely huge.
Yeah.
You can tell customers this isn't just cheese, it's a legally protected cultural treasure. The DOP is their ultimate guarantee.
And it connects to that deep history, right? Back to the Bronze Age, even mentioned in Don Quixote. That's a story people love.
It really is. And the DOP rules, they aren't suggestions, they're strict, enforced by the Consejo Regulador.
Like what specifically?
Well, the geographical zone is tightly controlled, only certain parts of Castilla-La Mancha.
Okay.
The milk has to be from Manchego sheep. Native breed, Kind of low milk yield, very seasonal milk too, mostly spring, early summer. That affects the flavor profile.
Right, the terroir of the milk.
Exactly. Then production rules the cylindrical shape, max height, max diameter, minimum aging times 30 days, 60 days, up to 2 years.
And those physical markers.
Crucial. The numbered casein tab pressed right into the rind, and the special paper label from the Manchego.
So you can literally show a customer, see this. This proves it's real.
Yes, it helps fight fraud. There's stuff out there called Manchego, made from cow's milk, maybe in Mexico or elsewhere. These markers are how you spot the genuine article.
That's super practical for us behind the counter. Now, this one-year version sits within a spectrum, right? But it's not the only Manchego.
Correct. The DOP allows different aging, creating different styles. It helps to explain this so customers can find their preference.
So break it down for us. What are the main stages?
Okay, briefly. You might hear of Fresco, like 2 weeks old, super mild, rare outside Spain, not technically DOP, forget that one mostly.
Got it.
Then semi-curado. That's aged maybe 3 weeks to 4 months. It's the most common one people see. Supple, grassy, fruity, tangy.
The everyday Manchego for many.
Pretty much. Then curado, 3 to 6 months. Getting firmer, the nutty caramel notes are starting to deepen.
Okay.
And then you get to viejo or añejo. That's 1 to 2 years. That's where our Murray's 1 year sits.
Peak complexity territory.
Exactly. Hard, granular, crumbly texture. Intense flavor, sharp, savory, peppery. It's the most robust version.
Explaining that journey really helps position the 1 year. It's the destination for flavor intensity.
Precisely.
Now let's clarify Murray's role here, because this can sometimes cause confusion, can't it?
It can. People see Murray's, they know the name, the reputation.
Right. So for this Manchego, Murray's isn't the maker.
Yeah.
They're the curator.
The importer.
Exactly. They're the expert selector. They've tasted various Manchegos and chosen this specific one as their preferred version, representing great quality and value.
So it's Spanish-made, Spanish-aged, but Murray's approved.
That's a good way to put it, and it's important to distinguish this from Murray's other big program.
They're cave-aged stuff.
Right. This Manchego is not part of the Cave Age program. This cheese is made and aged entirely in Spain following DOP rules by a Spanish partner. Murray selects and brands it.
Whereas the cave-aged cheeses, those are often American cheeses, maybe developed with Murray's and then aged by Murray's in their caves in New York. Correct. That's where Murray's acts as the affineur, the aging specialist. They have loads of awards for those cheeses, buttermilk basque, stocking hall cheddar, things like that.
So the potential confusion is someone seeing Murray's and thinking this Manchego was aged in their New York caves.
Exactly. It's a halo effect. We need to be clear. The quality and value of this 1 year Manchego come from that centuries-old Spanish DOP tradition, validated by Murray's selection expertise.
Got it. Spanish heritage, American curation, that distinction is key for managing expectations.
Absolutely. It clarifies the provenance and the value proposition.
Okay, let's help our fellow mongers place this cheese in context. Comparisons are super helpful for customers.
Definitely.
First, let's compare the 1 year Viejo to its younger sibling, the semi-curado. What's the transformation?
Oh, it's huge. Flavor-wise, you go from mild, grassy, tangy in the semi-curado to deep, savory, nutty, caramelly, peppery in the Viejo, just much more complex.
And the texture.
From supple, maybe slightly moist, to hard, dry, crumbly with those noticeable crystals.
And visually, paler to deeper yellow ivory. It's a totally different experience.
Completely. Great way to encourage someone who likes the semi-curado to try something bolder.
Good upsell opportunity there. Okay, how about comparing it to another famous aged sheep cheese like Pecorino Romano?
Ah, good one. Both DOP, aged sheep milk, but very different beasts.
How so?
Pecorino Romano. Think intense saltiness, sharp, piquant bite, often brine-washed, primarily a grating cheese for pasta. Right.
Yeah, the classic use.
Aged Manchego, even the Viejo, is way milder in comparison. Less salty, more nutty, buttery notes, higher fat content generally. While you can grate it, its nuance shines as a table cheese on a board, tapas.
So guide the customer based on how they plan to use it.
Exactly. Table cheese or cooking cheese, different recommendations.
Okay, one more comparison, maybe more subtle. Within Spain, how about Roncal?
Ooh, Roncal. Interesting one. It was actually Spain's first DOP cheese.
Wow, okay. How does it differ from Manchego?
Roncal tends to be more intense, maybe a bit more wild, gamey. Barnyardy notes can come through. More herbaceous, grassy, sometimes saltier too. Different sheep breeds, Laxa, Aragonesa, and different region, Navarra.
So Manchego is Maybe cleaner, nuttier, less funky.
Generally, yes. Roncal is more assertive. Manchego maybe more universally approachable, even in its aged form.
Great comparisons. Really helps frame it. Okay, practical advice time. The connoisseur's guide for the customer. How to handle, serve, pair, cook.
The stuff that makes them enjoy it even more once they get it home.
Exactly. Let's start with handling. Storage.
Keep it refrigerated, obviously. Best wrapped in cheese paper if you have it, or wax parchment. Try to avoid tight plastic wrap. Lets it breathe a bit.
And the crucial step before serving.
Get it out of the fridge. At least 30 minutes, maybe even 60, before you plan to eat it.
Let it warm up slightly.
Yeah, lets the fats relax, releases all those aromas and flavors. Makes a huge difference. Cold cheese is muted cheese.
Good reminder. And how to present it.
Versatile. Thin triangles look elegant. Cubes work well for skewers, or if you're going to marinate them. And obviously, you can grate it. Okay, the fun part. Pairings. What goes well with this one-year Manchego?
So many options. Let's start with the Spanish classics. Membrillo quince paste is almost obligatory, right?
The quintessential pairing. Sweet, tangy, perfect foil. Also, Marcona almonds echoes the nuttiness. Cured meats like jamon serrano, chorizo, natural partners.
What about sweet contrasts?
Fresh or dried figs are amazing. Dates, ripe pears, grapes, anything with natural sweetness works.
And savory.
Briny olives, sun-dried tomatoes, roasted red peppers, a drizzle of good olive oil, maybe some honey or a fig jam. Walnuts, hazelnuts too.
Lots to play with there. How about drinks? Wine.
Oh yeah, classic Spanish reds are a go-to. Tempranillo, especially a Rioja Reserva or Gran Reserva. The oak and fruit notes match beautifully.
What else?
Dry Spanish sherries, Fino or Manzanilla. That nutty, saline character is fantastic with the cheese. A tawny port could work too for a richer pairing.
Beyond wine. Beer. Spirits.
For beer, think malty. Nut brown ales, porters, maybe even a stout. Their sweetness and body complement the cheese. Spirits. Aged whiskeys are interesting. A good bourbon or a sherry cask finished Scotch or Irish whiskey.
Wow, really versatile. Okay, moving beyond just eating it straight. Cooking.
Absolutely. It's a great cooking cheese. Don't let customers think it's only for the cheese boards.
So tapas.
Appetizer. Fried Manchego is a classic tapa, just breaded and quickly fried, or cubes marinated in olive oil, herbs, garlic, maybe citrus zest. Skewers pinchos with chorizo or peppers, simple, melted on bread montaditos.
Main courses or sides. Can it handle heat?
Oh, yeah. It's an excellent grating cheese, like we said. Use it instead of parm or pecorino on pasta, risotto, soups, salads. Shave it over salads, too.
Does it melt well?
It melts beautifully. Great in quiches, lasagnas, potato gratins. Makes an amazing grilled cheese sandwich. Seriously elevated.
Nice. Any unconventional uses we can suggest?
Yeah.
You could suggest making Manchego crisps frico. Just little mounds of grated cheese baked till they melt and get crispy. Lacy, savory wafers, great garnish or snack, maybe even in savory desserts, like a cheesecake or with chocolate.
Okay, let's wrap this up. What's the big takeaway for us mongers about Murray's one-year Manchego?
It's really a benchmark example of that Viejo style. You've got the solid foundation of the Spanish DOP ensuring authenticity.
And then Murray's layer of expert curation on top, guaranteeing quality for the American market.
Exactly. It's versatile, sophisticated enough for a discerning cheese lover's board, but robust enough to make a real impact in cooking.
And that Murray's brand acts like a trusted guide, right? Offering access to a European classic with a built-in quality check.
Precisely. It's perfect for that customer, that prosumer who cares about the story, the tradition, the provenance, not just the taste.
Someone looking to go beyond the basic semi-curado and explore something deeper.
Yeah, exactly that.
So, final thought for everyone listening. Next time you have that beautiful wheel of Murray's one-year Manchego on your counter, ready to cut, think about its journey.
From those plains of La Mancha
Through the strict DOP rules, the careful aging,
to Murray's selection process.
it culminates right there, in your hands. It's not just cheese. It's history. It's craft. So the question is, what story will you tell with each slice you cut and wrap? How will you help your customers truly connect with and savor this incredible piece of Spanish heritage?